All right.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Smart with Your Money Live. I am Chase Peckham, Director of Community Outreach at the San Diego Financial Literacy Center, the education arm of DebtWave Credit Counseling. And as always, here with Felipe Arevalo. And today we're going to talk about when you should use your emergency fund and when you probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I figured we'd start off with some instances where emergency funds are often used, but they shouldn't be, because I think that happens more often than not. I'm not saying I haven't in the past done the same. So, we're going to go over some reasons why you shouldn't. And then I'm
Is that
going to go
like
over some
money,
reasons
like kind of burning a hole in your purse or your wallet?
Yeah, I think
It's there so we could use it.
Yeah, especially in my early college years where I was overspending without fear. Uh, if there was savings there, it was going to get spent.
Well, when we're young, we never think we're really going to grow up, and that there always will be time to build our savings.
Exactly. I'll get a little bit later.
And the next thing you know, you're 50 and you're going, what happened?
Or you're in your mid-20s, you add up how much in the negative you are, and you realize, man, I'm a long way from having a savings account of any significance. So let's go over some of the reasons you should not use. So when should you not use it? Are you even allowed to use it? Well, yeah, you saved up for it. You're allowed to use it sometimes. When not to use it: to buy World Series tickets, or any other sporting event, concert that popped up. My buddy sent me this screenshot of his Ticketmaster last week when he was trying to get World Series home game 1 tickets, and he was 2,000 plus in the waiting list.
Oh my goodness. I had them. I got them, and I just got my refund today. You know what that means? That means our Padres are not in the World Series.
It does. Unfortunately, I was really kind of looking forward to going.
One of the benefits of being a season ticket holder is my tickets were they were reasonably priced. They were not $1,200 for park at the park tickets.
No, I know. They were reasonably priced here but it was the problem of just finding them and getting a hold of one, because there weren't that many left after season ticket holders. So that's not what they're there for. Concert tickets go on sale.
Definitely not an emergency fund thing. Absolutely not.
So don't.
You know what I used to spend too on concerts and stuff?
Yeah, because the tickets sometimes sneak up on you. Like all of a sudden there's a concert and tickets, you hear about it, and tickets go on sale Friday. And if you don't get tickets now, you're going to be paying a premium or overprice on a resale later if it's a popular enough of a concert.
Right. I mean, when Neil Diamond is coming into town, I mean, you got to go.
Yeah, or Garth.
Neil Diamond, Garth. People are looking at me going, how old are you? Who's that?
But if you've ever been near a venue when a Garth Brooks concert is just even getting ready to start, it is a madhouse. Lots and lots of people, very popular. So
very popular.
This is not what it's there for. Also not for sales. We have lots of sales all over the time. We've talked about different on our podcast and things like that, different holiday calendars, and do they get you with the marketing? A lot of times you get those final hours, or my dad uses Wolverine work boots, and so he orders them online, or I help him order them online. So they have my email, and I got an email that was like 50 different shoes for $50 for 50 minutes. And I was like, man, I don't even use these, and I feel like I need to buy some.
That's good marketing.
It's really good marketing. I didn't buy any, and the ones he uses were not on the sale, so he didn't buy any either. But it's that pressure of like 50 minutes. Oh man, I gotta make sure. And it was like, put it on your calendar.
Well, sometimes people forget that their emergency fund is for just that.
Right.
Emergencies, and they get it confused with money just in the bank.
Sale is not an emergency.
Right.
Also, not an emergency. Fun trips. Your friends open up a cereal box, win a trip on a boat somewhere, and they invite you. That doesn't mean that you get to go also and use your emergency fund, because it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Last minute trip to Vegas or the Caribbean or, Cancun or something like that for spring, that's not an emergency.
No, you put that on the credit card and you go into debt for that. No, not
Right.
that either.
Cruises, all that, no. So that would not qualify as a financial emergency for you to dig into savings.
Most
Or
definitely not. But that's why you build a vacation fund, a vacation account.
Yeah. Or pizza, or a night out with friends, or, or coworkers trying to go out and eat somewhere, or, trying to keep up with your neighbors, the Joneses, whoever, going out to eat, going out to party, not a financial emergency. That is.
People are probably thinking, what idiots would do this? But believe it or not, these are real things that we run into with people. When we're working with people and their budgets and their funds, there's always a reason to do something.
Yeah. And you think about it, and I know I did it back in the day, like I mentioned,
baseball tickets, season tickets.
Season tickets at the Padres. And that was the second time I've had to got my money back for World Series tickets, but at least this time I wasn't there to watch him lose like last time. But it's not financial emergencies as you go. So
did you have tickets for game 5 in 98?
No, not the World Series. Last time they were in the NLCS or in the playoffs in 06 when they were swept by the Cardinals.
Yes.
I was at that game.
My last year with the Padres, actually.
Yeah. But we already had tickets to the World Series and everything because we were season ticket holders at the time. And that didn't work out quite like planned.
You were a season ticket holder when I worked there.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Exactly.
Wow.
You might have, if you were doing the camera thing, you might have put the camera on us. We were on the Jumbotron a couple times.
I don't know if Huh.
So then we got brakes and oil changes. Not an emergency because it's coming up. You should be saving for it. This is regular scheduled maintenance that your car is going to need brakes, is going to need an oil change, is going to need tires, is going to be, so those are things, especially you get those free 1,000,000-point inspections that they give you at the dealership where they give you your tread life running out, your brakes running out, and you're going to need a replacing soon. You get a heads up.
So important to have money put away for repairs that are just simple repairs. That is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. How did that car not blow up?
I have no clue. I'm hoping this was like a barn find where the car had been sitting for a while. Someone bought it, did not start it, and towed it to the mechanic.
Which reminds me, I think I have to get my oil changed.
I still need to get my oil changed. So brakes and oil changes, not what it's there for. So when do you use it? When are you really going to get to use this emergency savings account that you've hopefully put away? Well, emergency car repairs is different than your regular scheduled car repairs. This is, something happens to your car and you can't quite find the right hammer to fix it yourself. And you have to go get a professional to fix it. And I
have to admit, I have never seen that in my life.
There's a certain fix. I think it's like an old car alternator starter thing where you hit it with a hammer and it'll
tap.
Yeah. So the emergency car repairs, the windshield, that we mentioned that we have to replace on Sarah's car, that's $1,300. Those kinds of repairs that you weren't planning for. It's not like you could schedule to need a new windshield or schedule to need a new transmission or something like that. That could fit.
Or thought you had a warranty for your windshield.
Or thought you had warranty on your windshield, but it was only for the little cracks, which is worthless, and not the full replacement. Or you realize that windshields cost that much because in the past they were a couple $100 and now they're $1,000 more than they used to be.
Technology is bad for some things.
Technology sometimes gets you.
Felipe, I have a taillight out in my wife's Yukon. $900 to replace it.
Oh, that you find a YouTube video for that.
There is no YouTube for when it's LED.
Yeah,
all these lights are LEDs now.
You just find the corresponding. I'm going to find it for you. I'll send you the link.
Okay, because I don't want to spend. I'd rather just not get my brake light fixed than pay $900 for it.
Until you get the fix-it ticket, you get away with it.
Yeah, that's true.
So the emergency car repairs is a good time to use your emergency. I didn't have a funny gift for me for this, but loss of job. If for whatever reason you're laid off, furloughed, I know this happened to a lot of people at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yes.
And that's when you reach into your emergency savings account. Even if you have to go on unemployment, there may be a time gap between the loss of job, the unemployment kicking in. That could be a fill in the gap, and there may also be a difference in your unemployment amount versus your previous pay.
So Phil, what is, a lot of people ask us this, what is how much should I save for my emergency fund? I don't know what a good amount is. Where would you start? What is a comfortable place to be?
Well, you want to get to 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses is where you want to be, but don't let that number concern you, because sometimes people get overwhelmed with, when am I ever going to get to 3 or 6 months worth of emergency savings?
Right.
So that causes inaction, and it causes them not to even try. Look, that's where you want to get to. That might take a while. Step number one, if you don't have an emergency savings account, is really simple. Go to your bank or credit union and open a savings account for your emergency savings account. It'll cost you $25, $50, and you can do that today online with the use of your phone or going on your computer. If you don't have one, there's a really good starting point. Doesn't cost 100%. A lot of money. You can do it right now. We'll wait till the presentation's over, then do it. And then you can go from there. Maybe you start a goal of $500, because that's most people's deductible on their car insurance. That'll cover some repairs. That'll not enough, but a good starting point. Then you move your way, maybe you move your goal up to 1,000. And then you work your way to 1 month's worth of expenses, and 2 months and 3 months. And eventually you'll get there. You set up your budget, you fund it, you put money in every time. But don't let that big 3 to 6 months worth of expenses number scare you into not doing it at all.
Right.
Start off small. You can start today, and it doesn't have to be this like giant pile of cash that you have to start it, but you'll never get to that big money amount
unless you start. That's right.
So, don't let that big number scare you. Also, a potential reduction in income. None of us are actually going to ask for a pay decrease, like Jim or Dwight would, but you for whatever reason your income is reduced, maybe your hours are cut back. If you work, if you don't have a fixed schedule, whatever it is, that can kind of help you bridge the gap until you
Right.
find a solution that's more permanent. Medical emergencies. You don't plan for medical emergencies, but they happen. So, having that financial backing, having that emergency savings account for that broken arm because your kids fell off a monkey bar or something like that, can kind of, at least on the financial end, help you weather that most normal medical emergencies.
Man, do I know that?
Yeah, and they happen. So it's important to try and have that savings. Emergency home repair. You get a little, you want to try a little. See, I was going for the younger.
Everybody want home ownership? Yep, it's fun.
Throwback. Yeah. I hope my kids don't see this and expect their pumpkin to get carved like this. But those emergency home repairs, they happen. Windows break, anything
right.
Really.
Or you buy homes and they didn't find it in the inspection, or they didn't have an inspection. Well, which those days are probably gone now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Home appliances break. There's lots of different things that can go wrong with home repairs.
Wait, didn't you have a warranty on your refrigerator too? And did that finally work? But it only took you a month and a half to get your refrigerator fixed?
Yeah, it took 2 tries and added together closer to 2 months worth of no refrigerator. But it only cost me
you and your warranties.
It only cost me $75, so that was a good thing.
All right.
But there was delays in shipment due to supply chain issues. That's what they told me. So those emergency home repairs can sneak up on you. That's what. Also, emergency travel. If you're forced to travel for a sick family member or things like that, that emergency travel could be a reason to dip
And we do
into
see a lot of
your-
people that get into debt because of stuff like that. We work
Yeah.
with especially here in San Diego. If you're in the service, and you're
San
you're
Diego's
across the
not
country,
home.
you're in another country. This happens quite a bit. So this is a good thing to try to save for. Not that you're trying to save for something bad to happen, but it's kind of one of those things where, things do happen.
Right. So you want to make sure that you're prepared, and you don't know which one of these financial emergencies you're going to get, but chances are eventually you're going to get one of them. And
Right.
that's why you start saving today, and you start the process of building your emergency savings account so that you are prepared when that financial emergency does hit.
Absolutely.
Any questions? Today's is a little bit shorter, but hopefully informative. If you have the emergency savings account sitting there, you worked hard to save up that money. Don't go spending it on something it wasn't meant for.
How do you start it, Phil? And you mentioned it before. Don't let that big number get into you. But what do you recommend? How should I start it? I never seem to have enough money at the end of the month. How am I going to start it?
So the first thing you got to do, and I'm going to sound a little bit of like a broken record here, but
That's what we do in the world of finance.
I know.
We're giant
They
broken
actually sell
records.
records at Target now, which is really weird. They're going backwards.
Oh, I saw that vinyl.
Yeah, vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the Taylor Swift album on vinyl. I did not buy it, but I saw it.
Don't use your emergency fund for Taylor Swift vinyl.
Not Taylor Swift vinyl or concert tickets.
Sorry, Taylor.
But just start a budget. Put your emergency savings amount as a line item on that budget of yours. Pay yourself first. Make it like a bill that you pay for yourself. And if you can, go to HR and ask them to just put the savings in different accounts if it's not going to cost you anything, and fund your emergency savings account automatically every single paycheck. You incorporate it into your budget. Start looking, track your expenses. You think, I don't have any money. Track your expenses. Find out where those small leaks are. And sometimes making little modifications to things can lead to big financial opportunities for you.
Absolutely.
Cutting back on soft drinks, cutting back on coffee, cutting back on eating out, cutting back on beer,
cutting back on coffee.
I know. Well, coffee out and about. You can
I actually make it
coffee at home.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper that way. So, and you want to be even more frugal. Buy the whole beans, grind it yourself, and do it in like an old school drip one. That'll save you even more money. I think it tastes better. So,
not me.
No,
I'm too lazy. I have not enough time.
You can buy the pre-ground stuff and just kind of. We make coffee for two because Sarah also drinks coffee and we work from home. So
just
in
for
total, it's like 4 of these bigger cups. So we bought a big drip coffee.
Gotcha.
So
it's just me.
One batch, and then we can both get one plus a refill.
My 14-year-old and 12-year-old are not drinking coffee yet.
They don't need to be drinking coffee yet.
No.
I'm sure they may find it in college. That's where I found it.
I hope my son doesn't. With ADHD, hyperactivity, he won't need the caffeine.
They probably like Starbucks, though. You don't have to like coffee to like Starbucks.
My daughter, yes. Pink drink, lemonade.
I had to get the boys cake pops yesterday.
That's funny.
They have the little dog ones at Target. Great marketing.
Got one Clay the other day.
Yeah, they have the little bullseye Target dog cake pop. I had to convince them to get his flu shot, Ignacio. So that was the bribe, was a cake pop. And they have a CBS in the Target. So you always continue learning. Check out our podcast. It's called Talk Wealth to Me. Get it wherever you get your other favorite podcasts. We talk about everything. Emergency savings accounts. It really just a little bit of everything, money related and sometimes otherwise. So you check it out. take a listen, give us some feedback, let us know what you want us to record and talk about. And then join us for some shopping tips. You didn't think we were going to give you shopping tips, did you? But we are. We're going to tell you how to spend your money. Yes, because finances is also spending your money, but financial shopping tips, not just any old tips. So join us, and that'll be in 2 weeks. And we look forward to having you there so that we could tell you how to spend your money, because that's more fun for most of us than saving it. And it's just as important. So swing on back and join us then.
We'll see you guys in November.
That's crazy that it's November.